water, a new and inviting desert community.
Violation! This is gonna be a great day.
Filled with kind and loving families.
But I am your stepson.
Oh, no, I treated you like you was, didn't I?
Oh!
With mature and responsible teenagers. And then, one day...
Did you hear something?
Something odd appeared.
Paul, this is incredible.
Exactly what they are is uncertain.
I'm South American cockroach, Dad. I'm out of here.
Their origins are somewhat hazy.
It's an alien. Maybe an illegal alien.
And while their manner can be quite charming,
He's so cute. Can't we take him out of the bag now?
their habits can be a little bizarre.
Paul, not so rough.
I haven't done anything yet.
Gross.
But you'd better treat them right.
You're not laughing anymore, are you, pal?
Because they're not necessarily nice.
Munchies. Sliding into the driver's seat now, taking over the lead. Having up for the backseat, baby, that's not what I need. I'm making room for honey.
Here, kitty. What is that?
What are they?
I'm sure that thing's a cat. Murder?
No one kills hot tropical fish at live.
I'm on the case!
Just dropped in for a bite.
Munchies, starring Harvey Korman, from the creator of Little Shop of Horrors. Munchies.
Dogs. They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Okay, Ilion, I have great news. I just came up with a new business scam. I'm so excited.
I love business scams. They're the best.
That's all
the
we
whole
do.
reason why we do this podcast. It's just for
That's all
business
we do.
scams.
And
we've made so much money off these.
I'm
suckers.
so glad that you are not recording right now because this is the best scam I've come up with yet.
All right. What are we doing? Are we selling mattresses now, or?
You remember when we talked about the Whippet Factory?
Years
ago.
Yeah, the Whippet
Millionaire
Factory
Dogs Whippet Factory. Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing them at the time. Mm-hmm.
Have we considered Cheese Whiz Whippets? Because I've got a factory of Cheese Whiz Whippets. And oh man, you won't believe the munchies it'll give you. Because that's the name of the movie. Watch. Hello, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the...
Can I get some crackers with it?
Man, we already got two.
We got two crackers right here. Fuck, God damn it! I was doing it too. That's where I was going.
Anyway, welcome to Rough Cuts.
You're not going to LA to become a comic. You're not funny.
I'm Boix. This is Ilion.
Hi.
This is a podcast where we watch movies and then rate the dogs at the end. I'm sure there was a dog here. Absolutely. There
were a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
They all look like the movie.
They all look like Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. And
I don't
They wear
know.
the same jacket.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not sure why you're getting that. It's very mean to Chris Pratt, though, so I'm there for it. But I'm just...
Yeah, because he looks like Mario. I know, it doesn't even make sense. But...
Well, they did do a lot of plumbing.
It's true. So Munchies. We watched a long time back. Munchie Strikes Back.
Yeah, and this is the prequel.
This is kind of a prequel because it's like their first attempt at a puppet movie in this genre. And then they moved on to Munchie from Munchies. Is different.
That maybe okay? I'm actually kind of curious. Was Munchie also a Roger Corman movie? It has to be, right?
Probably.
Let me see.
I mean, it's the same property. It's just different.
Is it the same property?
Munchies and Munchie are part of the same property. Even though they're literally nothing alike.
Wait, what? In this name only in name only sequel to Munchies.
Mm-hmm.
No. What?
They reused the name. That's why it's called Munchie.
No, but
It has nothing to do with Munchies.
no, but Boix.
Uh-huh. You
What
could
the
just name
fuck?
things.
This guy's-
You can
What?
just do things. You realize this. You don't have to have a plan. You can just make a joke about starting a podcast and then 6 years of your life go by.
Okay, the joke, that's not the joke. That wasn't the joke that started this. That was not the joke that started this. The joke that started this was that there were no rules in the Twitch advertisement that I had to do, that we couldn't just read Airbud over the NBA and Twitch streamers that we were co-streaming.
That's true. I have the back of the box. The back of the box.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I still feel like I got hit in the head with a bat over the news that this is actually related.
Actually, before I read the back of the box, so Gremlins came out first, right? 84
Yes. Oh, yeah,
is what
we
we figured out.
Yeah, 3 years prior.
After Gremlins was Critters, I think. And then
Sure.
Critters had a knockoff called Ghoulies.
Yes, I do know about
And-
Ghoulies.
and
Listen, you don't have to tell me about Ghoulies, okay?
And then
Who do you think you're dealing with?
Ghoulies had a knockoff called Hobgoblins.
Okay, I don't know about Hobgoblins, what the fuck?
So this is the fifth in the line
Mhm.
of Gremlins knockoffs. Like, you have to go really far down the knockoff list to get to Munchies.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm going down the rabbit hole of trying to find if Munchie was also a Roger Corman movie, and on the IMDb page, I found out that Munchie is the film debut of a fairly famous actress, namely Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, it's Jennifer Love Hewitt. We haven't watched
did not
Munchie
know
yet.
that. I did
Munchie's
not
still
know
on the
that.
list. There's also our good friend Dom DeLuise in that movie. Which
Yes,
we haven't
I do
watched
know
yet.
about. I did know that he's Munchie. He's the original Munchie.
He's the original Munchie voice, and they changed it for Munchie 2. Yeah. Anyways,
Okay,
so
yeah.
So the point is, it goes Gremlins, Critters, Ghoulies, Hobgoblins, and then Munchies. So the back of the box: move over, Ghoulies, Ghosties. They're comparing themselves to the
all of them,
like the middle,
Get the fuck out of here! Shoving them all up the
and things that
table.
go bump in the night. The Munchies are here. Harvey Korman plays Simon Waterman, a space archaeologist who discovers the Munchies, little talking creatures in a cave in Peru. Korman also plays Cecil Waterman, spoiler, Simon's evil twin brother and snack food entrepreneur. Cecil kidnaps the creature.
Yes.
Period. That's a sentence. Cecil
glad that we all have
kidnaps
the Munchies
the
for the
creature.
snack factory. Yeah.
What Cecil doesn't know is that when the creature is chopped up, it regenerates into many new creatures, and they are mean. The Munchies now multiply, tear off in a stolen car, and literally destroy the once serene little town of Sweetwater. Car chases, explosions, and giggling girls highlight the hilarity in this comedy horror film from the creator of Little Shop of Horrors, a certified rip-roaring good time, rated PG. The PG is
The PG
wild.
is what, yeah, that part.
Because this is essentially a teen comedy
Yes.
that has been dialed down to PG, but it left in all the porn, like, jokes, without any of the nudity.
Also, I just want to say, so for the people that don't know, the Little Shop of Horrors connection, do you know?
No,
this
I
is
don't.
hilarious.
They said it's from the creator, so, like, is it the writer or something?
No? Okay, alright, so the way this works, I knew this immediately. The director of this movie is actually the film editor of Gremlins. So that's not the connection. The connection is Roger Corman.
It's just like, Roger Corman?
Well, and you're like, well, wait a minute. Okay, like, he produced Little Shop of Horrors? Yes. But not the Little Shop of Horrors that you know.
Not the movie, the good one?
He did the 1960 The Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, so they're
trash.
telling a little white lie, is what
They
they're
are
doing.
absolutely lying their fucking asses off.
Because, like, oh, you love Little Shop of Horrors. Not that one.
This is them saying from the people that brought you Captain America.
Sure.
And then showing the Captain America that Roger Corman did that is a pile of shit. Or like from the people that did Fantastic Four, because he did a Fantastic Four movie.
Not
But
technically a lie.
It's not technically untrue. Technically, he did do a movie called Little Shop of Horrors.
So dumb. So dumb. That's great.
It's really fucking funny.
This is part of the puppet exploitation. Puppet exploitation, is that a word? Puppet exploitation movies.
Yeah.
Of the 80s. So, like I was saying,
yeah,
like,
pup exploitation. I've been on Blue Sky. I know about pup exploitation.
No, we already did Quigley. We can't talk about Quigley again. Please,
I thought that was Love on a Leash.
Can the director please follow us back on Blue Sky again?
Yeah, can you? Yeah, we need the director to come back onto Blue Sky.
He was following us on Twitter as the world's best Quigley podcast.
Yes, yes,
but not anymore. Didn't want to follow us over to Blue Sky. I see how it is.
All the updates about Quigley 2 I'll miss. I'll miss all of the decades of updates of Quigley.
The decades of failed Kickstarters and Indiegogos. I think they got $20 last time.
This mound of broken dreams that he lives on.
It really, really gave me joy in my day. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway,
we're bad people. We're terrible people.
No, Quigley's terrible.
Okay, yes, they're true.
But anyway, so they're puppet movies.
Yes.
So in Gremlins, they have actual articulated big puppets. And it gets way better in Gremlins 2. I mean, the movie just takes the piss out on these puppet movies in Gremlins 2.
Oh, that was real close to a spill. Boy, I'm glad that you didn't even lose your sentence. That was impressive.
So,
Boy's almost elbows over his drink.
I'm a professional.
And in the middle of the sentence, it just keeps going. Hell yeah.
But like, so the puppets are really good in Gremlins 2. And they have like the lady gremlin, the bad gremlin, a whole bunch of stuff where they just keep going.
Yeah.
Like they go ham with them. And then you get into like critters. Critters just like little balls, but they're still like little hand puppets articulated. You can kind of lift open the mouth and it's got all these teeth and everything, and they roll around on the ground. They don't look as good.
I'm now seeing the lineage, as you're mentioning. Keep going.
Yeah, but they don't look as good. And then Ghoulies kind of just looks like shit.
So Ghoulies, the cover of Ghoulies is them literally in a toilet, so it makes sense.
It's supposed to be a cheap garbage knockoff of that. It's been a while since I've seen Hobgoblins. Let me see Hobgoblins again. I'm sure they're bad.
Okay,
but they're, these are like little, these don't even move, these puppets. They're just, like a doll.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like a children's doll that you would buy.
They can kind of move the arms a little bit, and like the heads kind of bob up and down, but it's not like they have articulating mouths or anything. And then,
now Munchies.
Yes, well, that's Munchies, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, even now I understand how Munchie is a sequel, because when you get to Munchie 2, we haven't seen Munchie 1, but when you get to Munchie 2, they just staple him to a board.
It's just a statue.
Can see, which is...
They give even less of a shit.
I get how it's all just connected. It's all just one big film. Yeah.
But like the craft of the puppeteering has gone so far down as it goes down the telephone line.
Yes.
It's the same thing that happened to what's that? Toy. What's the toy horror movies? Puppet Master.
Oh, yeah, yes. Yeah.
In the original Puppet Master, there's tons of like stop motion that looks really good with these puppets, and then as it goes later into the Puppet Master series, it's just them like being held up by a hand moving up and down like an action figure, because they just don't have puppeteering anymore.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is,
but I would say in this movie, they have fun with that. And
you could tell they don't give a shit. It's great.
No, it's great, but like it's great when they constantly have him like hit them with a bat and they just throw a doll through the air, and they like film the doll like cartwheeling through the air, and it's kind of amazing in terms of like energy for what it gives to the film.
It literally ragdolls.
Yes,
and that mixed with some of the visuals and the cartooniness of the characters, because all the characters are just so extra. To like one specific thing. Like, this character is just dumb as hell. This character is all in on complaining or something. Like, they'll have like one characteristic that kind of like they go all in on.
One character is a comedian.
He's very funny. Every joke, a laugh a minute. That Paul.
Man, they did not know what... He's the one that they didn't know what to do with. But they have, like, Melvis is the wife of the
Melvis
twin.
Yeah.
And she's just, like, she's Honey Boo Boo, but...
Honey Boo Boo, yeah.
Like, yeah. She's an older Honey Boo Boo.
There's that. Cecil is Harvey Korman's second character.
Yes.
Who is the permed up Texas snack entrepreneur, like, billionaire.
Yeah, I'm really glad, Harvey Korman had, like, a hell of a career. He was a really big actor for a long time, and I'm glad that we were here to witness the end of his career. Oh, no, not this one. I mean Viva Rock Vegas, where he was, his final role.
You can't remind me.
I saved that one just to damage you.
You can't do that. Because now I'm imagining...
here's the thing.
Now I have the mental picture of the fucking Great Gazoo in my head again, you ass.
You constantly complain. You constantly complain that I don't do any research for this podcast. And then I do research, and you complain about my research.
Why did you research that? Why did you find that? Take that back.
What do you want from me?
But they have a stepson. So Cecil and Melvis have a stepson called Dude McIntosh.
Dude McIntosh. Fucking love Dude.
Like, they're just cartoon characters, is what I'm getting at. But you mix that with the ragdolling and the drugs and alcohol and all the other shit that the little puppets are doing as they're, moving them up and around. And the whole movie has this sort of cartoony feel to it because of that. And then there's also, like, the kitchen in Cecil's house is very cartoony and at a weird angle. And
yeah, it very fits the Melvis character.
So I think...
Like heart telephones and...
I could almost see this movie as an animation, is what I'm getting at. It feels like a live-action animation at points.
In some ways, for sure. I think that one of the biggest detriments to this film, though... It would work as an animation if they did it right, and they wouldn't have done it right at this time.
No, they would have done it wrong completely.
Because animation is for children in the 80s. And what this movie, the thing that it's missing, the thing that's fucked up about it, number one, know.
Do I?
Rating.
Oh, the rating. Yeah, why is it PG? It feels like it should be R or PG-13 at least.
100% needs to be, like, I mean, they wouldn't have had 14A at the time, I don't think. 14A was later. But it needed to be pushing those things further. It needed the gore to come in. It needed...
There's no gore, yeah.
Yeah, like, it needed some stuff like that. It would have been... This feels like it's the censored version of Tammy and the T-Rex. It feels like there's something missing from it.
Not to say it doesn't have a kill count. There are kills.
Oh, yeah. No, there's definitely deaths. Yeah.
They're just really lame.
Yeah.
That's the big problem. Next to them just kind of not really knowing what to do with the film as it goes later on, too.
Yeah, it runs out of energy.
It definitely runs out of steam at some point. But I don't know. It's an interesting film. It kind of starts off in a weird way where...
Kind of.
Kind of. I don't really know what they were doing. But it's like they're shooting a documentary for the dad, who I forget what the dad's name is, but it's the other Harvey Korman.
No.
Cecil's the evil guy.
Cecil's the evil one.
The evil brother.
Oh, God, I had it. It's okay. It doesn't matter.
It's an irrelevant
It's
thing,
the dad. He
that
shows up very, very early on, and for like only 3 minutes at the beginning, and then like 2 minutes at the end.
At the end. That's even more confusing that they advertise like Harvey Korman plays 2 characters in this movie, and it's great. And like they don't interact really ever except the once.
Right? Did they interact?
The one time when they were talking about the land deed. But it kept cutting to one in the car, one standing outside the car, so...
Yeah, they're not doing it. They don't do anything much. Interesting with it, that's for sure.
They should have done like a split scene where they're both sitting there and doing something, interacting with the Munchies together or something, right? Like, if you're going to have that type of interaction, but...
I have a counter for that.
It would have looked bad?
Cost money.
And cost money? Yeah.
It would have cost money and taken some kind of time and talent, which they didn't care about.
but the dad is a space archaeologist. Simon. He's a space archaeologist.
Yes.
A made-up profession. Where he goes around and tries to dig up alien artifacts. Mm-hmm. It was aliens, bro. Aliens.
Yeah.
To prove his theories about alien life and write books to make money off of it. So he's in Peru with his son, who's a failed comic and a failed son, Paul.
Who is of an indeterminate age.
Somewhere between 12 and 29.
The actor is 30.
Yes.
The dad is starts the movie. The very start of the movie is him going, Stardate 2293, and like being all weird and nerdy.
Star Trek jokes, yeah.
Like doing these Star Trek jokes, and his dad being like, you gotta take this seriously, son. You gotta follow and listen to me. And so it's like, okay, he's 13. But then, like right after that, he's with his girlfriend at the house and being like, hey, let's have some sex and like, let's get drunk and stuff. And oh yeah, like we were drinking the other night and hanging out at the college. And you're like, so he's 21? And then
if they were in college.
And then she says that he's a teenager. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening with this character. And I don't think that they did either.
Teen man-child.
Yeah. The fun thing about this is any of these things that we might have complaints about in a way, I would say things that we would normally have as valid complaints kind of don't matter for some of the story parts. Because the story doesn't matter with shit. It is entirely a comedy vibes piece.
It's just an excuse to move the puppets from place to place. That's pretty much it.
Pretty much.
So anyway, they're at Machu Picchu in Peru, specifically. And there's the god Entei, which they read in a book once, so they thought it would be cool to put in the movie. And as they're doing that, there's like a little critter. Oh, sorry. Ghoulie. Hobgoblin. Gremlin. Thing. A little thing. Wandering around. So like, oh, if that's some sort of space alien cat, I'll kick its ass, Dad.
We can't watch Things, though. I've heard about that one.
No, we can't watch that one, yeah. Is there a movie name we can call them that isn't already taken? I mean, Munchies, I guess.
Munchies.
But, okay, so the little creature
the creature
knows Spanish. So they're trying to talk to it in Spanish for some reason.
Well, so they could be a little racist.
They could be racist as a joke. But so the dad, Simon's like, I think Machu Picchu is a control tower for aliens. They use it to dump toxic waste as a dump. Machu Picchu is just garbage.
He doesn't realize that until a lot later.
No,
he
calls it a control tower.
He thinks that it's a control tower for aliens, and that all the blocks were cut with lasers.
I guess it's a conspiracy theory, clearly, unless it's real. So they throw the little creature in a bag, I guess, like the son's luggage bag or his whatever. And then they also collect a sample of glowing green goo.
Yes, which he immediately stuffs in his pocket next to his testicles so that he can make
next to his balls. Yeah, that's important. Goo is stored in the balls. So
Goo is stored in the balls. It makes sense. If you ever find a glowing green material, just make sure you hug it as close to your body as possible. Preferably somewhere around your torso.
Oh, that makes sense. That's the safest place for the goo.
It's the place to keep it. Yep.
Yeah. So they get home with their new cat, from Machu Picchu. And they get pulled over by a shithead cop who's great. This actor's so funny. I love this guy.
Man, he's really good.
He's just all in on being an asshole.
This is one of my favorite things about this movie, in that and with a lot of B movies, man, do they hate the cops. They fucking hate the cops.
They really do.
They really do. Because she drives past the sign that says, like, welcome to Sweetwater, and he's hiding behind it with a photo radar kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
A radar gun. And the minute she goes past, he goes, violation!
It's like a pre-Ace Ventura, type of thing, yeah. But he's like, oh, I've been waiting all day for this. My dick is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
So he pulls him over, like, no, I slowed down, actually, before your fucking radar. I know. Oh, no, that's not why I'm pulling you over. It's because when you changed gears, your car was too loud, you fuckers. I'm writing it up anyway. Fuck you.
12 dBs over the limit.
You cocksucker. Anyway, so...
Do you remember the line that he gives when she drives away?
Oh, God. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
If she wasn't so cute, I'd mace her.
So anyway, he pulls them over. They get home. They get home with their new cat. And they're hanging around on the couch, watching TV. And then the dad's like, hey, I need to leave the movie because we don't have enough budget to have me keep constantly changing costumes during this film.
Yeah.
So my brother Cecil, who's upstairs with a wiretap that's recording audio in my house, or he's at his own house recording audio in my house,
but recording audio, and he was like spying on them.
I guess.
Which the reasons are, he wants the house, but he's already rich, so
he owns half the land. Him and his brother share the land deed, and he wants the other half from his brother for something. I guess.
Really does not matter. They don't give a shit. The plot is irrelevant.
But he overhears them talking about the little creature that they found. So he's like, oh, I should get that creature at some point. That sounds great.
Oh man, I love little critters.
And then they name one of the Munchies Arnold. And the one Munchie they have, because there's only one.
There's only one Munchie, yeah.
Arnold. This name is completely irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything, and there's no connection at all with this creature later. So I don't know why we named it. I don't know why we named him.
It doesn't come up after like 20 minutes from now, ever again.
But okay, so the dad, Simon, won't sell his land because now he has a creature that he can sell to the alien research community. Yes. I guess. So he says no. So then Cecil's like, fine, I'll just break into your house with my stepson, who I hate. The one that's miserable and awful and sucks. Dude Macintosh.
He has some great lines with this son where he goes, hey, haven't I always treated you like a stepson? Which is an amazing line.
Yes, you have, actually. Yeah,
actually.
Clearly,
yes,
always like a stepson.
They introduce him by he's sitting there like listening to vinyl and just singing in the most off-key, horrible fashion possible. And then he's like, this is the one character where they didn't get the characterization, like, it didn't stay consistent, if that makes sense. Because they're all one-note character,
it's weird.
Like, caricatures. But he's like, oh man, I don't want to hurt the animals. I'm a friend of the animals, man. I like just listening to my vinyl and hanging out all day, Dad. And then things escalate.
Because he's like hippie rocker punk something. He's like everything.
Have him as like a hippie at first, but then he quickly devolves into more of, like you said, like kind of like garage burnout stoner, which is similar but not the same.
They're definitely different vibes.
Definitely different vibes. Because he goes to capture it with the dad, because he's supposed to be the son, the other son is the actual son, not the stepson, the main character, Paul, is supposed to be looking after the gremlin, and instead he goes up to play doctor with a gigantic hammer.
To play doctor with his girlfriend Cindy.
With a gigantic inflatable hammer.
Now, I've never had sex before, so I need some input on this. So why did they have the blow up squeaky hammer? What was that about?
Well, okay, so when two clowns really like each other,
can't start having two clowns. You know, I don't want to know about clown sex. Never mind.
They very obviously have clown sex. It's kind of listen. They got to keep it PG, boys. Clown sex PG. Regular sex not so much.
Hey, I want you to still put that sex scene in. But Roger Corman, we're PG now. Nah, you'll find a way.
Find a way to do it.
God damn it.
Weird. So they're having all kinds of freaky fetish clown sex upstairs, and they come in and steal the little gremlin, and then Cecil.
Sorry, the what?
Sorry, yes, the Ghoulie.
No, we're gonna get sued if you keep calling them. No, that's a different movie. It's Munchies.
The Munchies. They take the Munchies back, and the stepson now has to look after it. Well, Cecil goes out because reasons. And you, at this moment, were like, oh, I gotta step away for like a minute and a half.
Because nothing was happening.
Nothing's happening. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to pause it? You're like, no, nothing's happening. So then things happen. It goes from, like, literally the instant that you walked away, the son puts on headphones, and he starts listening to music, and this nice little alien that has been taught to watch the TV and say, oh, I like you guys, I'm Arnold, in, like, little English phrases, decides, I'm just gonna go nasty. For no reason.
Well, it's not for no reason.
Okay.
He's messing with the remote, and then dude tells him to stop. He keeps messing with the remote, and dude throws him across the screen.
Yes.
Behind him, against the wall, so he ragdolls.
Yes.
So then he gets revenge on him by biting him.
Mm-hmm.
And dude's like, hey, fuck you. And he like starts
mutating weird.
Yeah, because he like pokes him with a pool stick or something on the pool table later. And, like, shoves them in the pocket. This is the man that said he doesn't want to hurt animals. He shoves them, just jams it in there.
This is all while you're gone. It's like he puts on the headphones, Boix walks away, and then this happens.
And then the Munchie, like, transforms and starts attacking him with claws. So, of course, dude grabs a fucking rifle off the wall of the pool room.
We go from... He touched the remote to rifle in 15 seconds.
And they're just blasting and having a fight back and forth until dude eventually cuts him in half. To cut the Munchie in half.
And he gets, like, stabbed in the leg, and...
It's a whole thing.
Shit. This whole thing. And then
So then I came back and be like, oh, what'd I miss? Anything happen?
I'm like, yeah, like, you came back as the creature's on the floor... smoking from the buckshot or whatever that he took, and dude's like got a knife in his leg, bleeding in the middle of the floor, and it's just like, let's maybe go back a minute and a half. I think you need to clue in.
I don't know. I don't think anything happened during that scene.
This is also at this point 20 minutes into the movie. This is where the movie actually starts. It doesn't care at all about the plot. It just brushed past all that and goes, all right, now we just get to have vignettes of fucking mayhem.
Because, the Munchie splits into 4 Munchies. Mm-hmm. And then they kill dude by turning up his headphones really loud, I guess. And dude's just doesn't take his headphones off, I guess.
I talk about what a big dummy he is. He's real dumb.
I've opened up a stream before that was way too loud and went, took off my, like, you would do that. That's, man.
The
anyway.
R-rated version of this would have been so good.
Yeah.
Because the way to do that is have his head explode, right?
Absolutely. Something like that.
That would have been amazing. Like, that would have been so good. But no, sadly,
they don't even show anything from him. It's just his back in, like, silhouette almost. Later on, when they show his body, it's like nothing. Anyway, so he gets killed, and then the Munchies head outside with the gun. So they can just go shooting at stuff because they're little shits.
They're nasty instantly.
And when Paul and Cindy come back to the house, they see the Munchies outside. They're like, hey, come on. Stop playing with a gun, you little kidders. Oh, there's 4 of them now. That's so cute.
Guy. And one of the Munchies yells at them. Do you remember?
No.
Because they went from, oh, ITV, like little phrases
babies.
that they didn't quite get,
Yeah.
like as babies, to the one goes, get him in the kneecaps when he stands
Fuck 'em up.
to like,
Fuck him up. Yeah.
fuck him up, get him, Arnold.
So as they're like shooting at Paul and Cindy and just fucking with them and shooting their windshield out, they steal a car and drive off. This leads to my favorite scene where they're on the road and there's a granny who's trying to pass them. And they're like, fuck off, granny, it's our road. And she's like, no, I'm fucking passing. And they start like, bashing cars into each other to try and drive each other off the road. She's like, oh, you fucked up. You fucked up messing with Granny.
She like floors it and goes in front of them and throws like a firecracker, like homemade explosive.
It's like a homemade explosive at them, and then oh my god!
And then she like peels out so that she can play chicken with them.
They're playing chicken. She gets out of her car to like, oh, I'm fucking beating their ass.
So good.
It's so good. And so then, like, they blow up her car and drive off, and Paul and Cindy are coming after the Munchies. They're like, where'd they go? Those little fuckers went that way. Go get them. Kick their ass.
And that's most of the movie now.
That's the movie.
It's just them chasing these things while they go and cause shit. And a lot of it is actually really funny. Like, I think that there's a lot of really good vignettes. They then go after like a biker gang and throw them all into the water, like run them off the road. Then they like jump into a lake because they see girls that they want to creep on because
the Munchies
that kind of movie.
Are horny.
They are very horny.
There's a lot of scenes of Munchies jacking it.
Yeah,
but it's PG. It's PG jacking it. It's not like weird.
How is it?
Anyway,
PG jacking it. It's not weird.
It's not weird. Grow up.
It's not weird to do it together. If it's two people just sitting there just jacking it together. That's PG.
Yeah, pretty good. So,
that's pretty good.
Parts of this remind me of Highway to Hell. It's kind of a road trip movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right? Where there's different vignettes. The big one that reminded me the most was the ice cream shop, because that is also in Highway to Hell. Where they go to the ice cream place, and there's like the crazy guy the zombie that jumps on their car, and he has to like do donuts to try and get the guy off. It's like that, because the Munchies go into the ice cream shop, and God, the costuming's so funny. All the ice cream people have like a little ice cream cone head hat on the side.
All the ice cream people, i.e. Robert Picardo and his family.
Yeah.
They kind of have a bit going for Robert Picardo, and I wish that they had kept it up.
They should have kept doing it, yeah.
Just, like, it kind of sucks, because, like, it was really funny the first couple times they did it, and then they just dropped it, and he left the movie, and I wish that they had kept that joke, because it was a good joke. He has one of the Munchies jumps on him and starts mauling him kind of like in the neck jugular, like kind of shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, because that's kind of stereotypical, right? Like, you got a puppet, it's a good spot to like around somebody's neck in a way. So it's doing that to him.
Because it hides the hand holding the puppet.
Exactly, yeah. Like behind the back. And it looks brutal without actually it being easy to hide, all that kind of stuff. So they come into the ice cream shop, they find this, they rescue the family. They, of course, have a gun there, too, because it's America. So
everybody has a gun.
Everybody's got a gun.
It's Texas. Everybody has a gun.
Chase them off, and they're like, oh my god, we got to get you to the hospital, Bob. And they put him in the back of the car, and they're driving. And as they're driving, he's having a conversation. He's like, oh no, like, I've been mauled by a grizzly in Yellowstone. This is nothing, kind of thing. Like, I'm fine.
Well, it's because, the mom says, hey, yeah, he's been mauled by a grizzly bear in Yellowstone. It's fine. Like, he'll be okay. No, we should really get him to the hospital. He's pretty damaged. No, I've been mauled by a grizzly bear. I don't know if you know this, but I was fine.
Yeah. I'm cool. And then he doesn't go to the hospital, and he just goes to
He goes, like,
the
mini
next
golfing. Yeah.
Yes, because the big thing is that I guess that they don't explain it at all, because again, the plot's irrelevant. It's just a bunch of vignettes of them doing shit. But Cecil goes to chase after all of this, and he also has the opening of his big mini golf course.
His 36-hole mini golf.
Yeah. I think that was the reason why he wants to land, maybe? They don't explain it.
Maybe he wants to expand the mini golf. He's also... Okay, it's a bunch of things. He's a snack entrepreneur.
Yes.
He wants the land that his brother has, because they share the deed. He also is running a big mini golf course. He also controls the tunnels underneath the town, which he uses to store toxic waste.
Yes.
For some reason.
Why does he have toxic waste? Don't worry about it.
Find out later. So there's all that stuff, but he's doing an open house for his 36-hole mini golf course.
The big thing that I want to say is they continue the bit with Bob, because then he's just golfing with his family for some reason, and the Munchies attack everybody, and they jump on him on the same exact spot, and maul him in the same exact way, and he's just like, nah, it's fine, I've had worse before. And like, they needed to, and she then maces both him,
face,
like the wife maces both him and the gremlin, and she's like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, the mace kind of canceled out the pain of being mauled. Like, that's a good bit, and they needed to just keep having him constantly get wrecked in the same way throughout the movie, but then they just end it.
He should have just wandered into the tunnel for no reason.
Yes.
And been like, it's still in the ice cream hat.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, he needed to be a part of the main crew and just constantly, every time they get into trouble, the first thing that happens is a gremlin jumps on his back and starts mauling his neck. And, like, they just do that over and over. But they fucking screwed it up and stopped. And this is where the movie falls off a cliff for me, because it just runs out of ideas.
Ran out of ideas. But so Paul read a book in between these scenes, and he's like, I'm researching Machu Picchu. And it says in this book that there are inanimate objects that can be brought to life with the fire of gods. What does that mean? Well, anyway, I'm sure that won't be relevant to the plot. Let's go talk to Cecil at his golf open house.
They have weird regenerative powers, and when you cut them, they split.
They split in half. And or fourths, sometimes eighths, sometimes thirds.
Whatever amount we want.
How many puppets do we have?
Okay. Because the math does not math, because the first death they have, dude cuts them in half, and they turn into 4. But then there's 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cecil gets a pair of garden shears and cuts 2 more of them in half, which would, that means 8.
No,
7.
7 total, so 3 get made.
What? But
yeah,
what?
Why? Maybe it's like...
But why?
Maybe it has an RNG.
Like they literally named the number of them. It's so fucking weird. Yeah,
they could just not say how many, right? Like, they could just not say. And just say, oh no, now there's more, right?
But they're very specific that now there's exactly 7.
It's weird.
It's strange.
Anyway, so they see the Munchies. When they get cut, they turn into more Munchies. And then they follow the Munchies eventually to a video store. After Cecil, Melvis, and Dad Cop.
Ed.
Cop shows
both of the cops are Ed.
Yeah, Ed and Eddie, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was
Big Ed and Eddie.
They just said Big Ed and Ed? Maybe it's Big Ed and Ed? I don't know, something like that.
But he's SWAT cop. Because he stole some SWAT equipment from the actual police force. So he could be cool and important. Now you don't need to do that.
Now cops are just like that.
Yeah. But they go to the video store, and they're fighting off the Munchies. And one of them just throws itself into the microwave for no reason, because they wanted to make a joke about gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
And that also killed it. So now they're like, oh, fire of gods. They mean electricity. Ho, ho, ho. Why did it jump itself into the microwave?
It got it kind of jumps at Paul and just bounces off of his face like he's made of rubber.
Whenever they ragdoll, they're
into a
very
TV.
rubbery. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Well, you see, Paul's very funny.
Is he? Oh, but what I was saying is, Ed, Melvis, and Cecil, these names, are driving around town, and they're going to different places, and they're really hungry because it's been a long night. So they got the Munchies. You see? Do you get it?
Yeah.
So like, hey, can we just stop by this pizza place? I know like the whole town's getting attacked by these little Munchies, but I'm really hungry right now. Like, come on, just get a slice.
It's a great joke because it's Big Ed doing it, and he's fucking moron.
And then Melvis jumps in
on
it.
Melvis jumps in on it is the fucking great part. Is that like, because it's like, okay, well, obviously the husband and wife are gonna be like, dude, shut up. Why do we have this dude as our hired goon? Because he's basically the goon for the rich guy in town.
Yeah.
But instead she's like, yeah, I could go for a slice. Hey, why don't we stop for a slice?
Why don't you know what? That's a good idea.
That's a great idea, Ed. And it's just goes more and more in with him.
But the problem is that for the next 30 minutes of film, that's their only thing.
That's their only joke, and it's way
They're
too
just
long.
really hungry, and they want to go. They go to a burger place, for whatever reason.
I guess.
And the burger place has a manager, a middle manager specifically, who really paints a bad picture of Burger World middle managers. That guy gets killed by the Munchies at some point. And the only reason that this is important is because the Munchies go into the sewer from here, which is above the tunnel where the toxic waste is. But how would they know? There's nothing. It's nothing.
It's...
Anyway,
matter.
The rest of the movie takes place in the underground tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
So they go underground. The Munchies cut the wires to cut out the electricity so that they can't get killed, I assume, or just to cut the lights for no reason.
They cut the lights eventually. First, they put themselves on conveyor belts and start chopping each other up so they can make more.
To make more Munchies. But they didn't have enough puppets to make a bunch of Munchies. So they only used the two over and over again, and they never show more of them in the scene.
No, there's never more than I think the most we ever see is 4. Is the original.
I think they only had 4 puppets, and they're like, oh, we don't have enough puppets to make this look big and grand. We should maybe cut the number back when we say how many that we made. 7. That's a lot, right?
Yeah, there's tons of them. They're everywhere.
7. But so they end up cutting themselves. They're chasing the humans back and forth. Paul gets over there at some point and cuts a live wire with an axe.
Yes.
And then electrocutes the conveyor belt to kill the Munchies. Mm-hmm. But what we find out is that when they don't get killed, they get turned back into pottery.
Yeah. Little gremlin pottery.
Oh, not gremlins. Little Munchie pottery.
Little ghoulies.
I don't know if you understand, but this podcast is brand safe. All right? We need to be as on brand a brand as possible to keep our sponsorship a brand. All right? I don't want to have this talk with you again. We're going to keep...
I wish that we could actually sell out and make money.
Fuck. This joke doesn't work because we don't make any money.
You don't understand. We've done this for 6 years. We don't make anything on it.
Anyway, so they get electrocuted and killed, except for one, which attacks Paul, and then gets electrocuted and killed. So there's no point for the one to exist. It's pointless.
Yeah.
So all of them get smashed except for one, which they keep as pottery for some reason, even though there's no reason for them to do this. And then they take it back, and
there's no reason for him to smash the pottery either.
To kill them for good, I guess.
But they don't know how to resurrect them.
They don't, but I think it's implied later that lightning will resurrect them because lightning hits a car at the end that has the last one in it.
I guess.
Yeah. But they also find out that Cecil was keeping toxic waste in his factory because he was using it in his snack foods, like asbestos and Agent Orange for his orange flavored snacks and his asbestos wine coolers.
I like that they have in-universe like product placement for because Dude, at one point when Dude is like all fucked up in the kitchen, he opens the fridge and you're like, oh yeah, oh man, that was tough killing this munchie. I'm gonna go and get myself a beer. And I'm like, is he actually? He does, except it's not a beer. It's a wine spritzer that was advertised on the TV from Cecil as one of his snack foods. So they're like doing product placements for their fake products, which is a great bit. Like, that's really good.
And they're all shot like local TV type of ads where they're just stilted and awkward. I kind of love that.
Yeah, they have a few of them throughout when they're doing TV stuff.
But so the dad gets the one pottery that wasn't broken, and an archaeologist shows up, is like, I would like to buy this pottery for $25,000. Thank you. I'm very rich. I know I overpaid, but I'm I want it very much. This is the best pottery I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to drive away now. Goodbye. I'll never see you again.
See you later.
So at the beginning of the movie, Paul was talking to his dad about, hey, I want to be a comedian in LA. I don't want to go to college and be smart. I'm so funny. I got to go to be a comedian. And his dad's like, no. In fact, I'm going to do a bet. If you can't watch after Arnold, our funny dog that we found in Peru, for one day, then you will not be able to go to LA and you have to go to college. And at the end, he hands him the guy back. I guess this is why, for the bet. He hands him the pottery back. He's like, oh, I guess you're right. I couldn't watch after Arnold for one day because the whole town got destroyed by the Munchies. I guess I'll go to college. But the dad just changes his mind. Is like, no.
Just goes, nah, never mind. You're funny.
You're hilarious. Go be a comedian, my son. What?
It was a weird energy at the end of this movie. The last, there's a few bits in the last 25 minutes or whatever of this movie. This movie, one thing that I will really give it, it's an hour and 18 minutes long. And that's
it's
it.
Short.
It just gets in and out. It is done.
Yeah.
But it really runs out of steam. There's so few bits and stuff that make sense at the end of it. The one of them that I did like was Cecil and the cop and Melvis all get trapped in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the lights go out, when the power gets cut off. And do you want to...
Well, okay, so the lights go off, and they're doing a joke about, originally, all right, I know it's scary when it's dark, but hold my hand. And then the cop's like, thank you. Yes, that did help me a lot. No, my wife. My wife. So then they're still in the elevator as it cuts back to them, and Cecil just turns on the light. You'll never believe it. There was a light switch right here the whole time. I can just turn it on whenever I want it. and then the Ed and Melvis are making out in the corner.
They're just going at it in the background while he's doing this.
God damn it.
It was a pretty good little bit. I wish they'd done more of that.
I think there's a lot of good ideas for what is ultimately a not very good movie.
Yeah.
And there's so much potential in Munchies that I think could have been funny. And some of it works.
Say a lot of it works.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's a weird one.
I think that it really needed that R rating.
It definitely needed a higher rating would have helped a lot. I understand the 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. I get it. It's not that good.
No.
But it is, if you're a movie pervert, it has its moments.
It has its moments. Listen, if you really like to get shoveled at the cheesy Whippet Factory glory hole,
as we all do,
you'll love this. You'll love this movie, because there's a good scene of that in here.
There is, yeah. Anyway, that's Munchies.
In this PG movie.
This PG teen raunch comedy.
I also have a note of, I fuck my wife.
Oh, yeah, Cecil does say that at his opening ceremony for his golf course. I just want to thank everybody for me fucking my wife.
It's pretty great. There's so many good moments in this, and then it just peters out in a way, really sad way.
Anyways... That's Munchies. Let's rate the dog. There's Arnold, who is the original Munchie. who I presume survives because of the ending. That had to have been
like
the one.
He's going to be the titular Munchie.
I don't think he turns in. So he doesn't turn into actual Munchie.
I mean, they have the lightning strike hit the car at the end of it. So it kind of feels like that's the through line.
You could say that it's related, but it's not the same Munchie. So
no.
It's just a name.
Yeah.
But they were sequel baiting for sure.
Sure. No, I understand that. But it feels like he's the surviving one, is what I mean.
Yeah, he's the surviving girl, as we all know. Of all the horror movies.
Yeah. He comes out and the real horror is that man was the monster all along. They wipe out those poor little aliens.
It's true.
I was
anyway,
real mad that they didn't do anything with the toxic waste.
They should have done more with a lot in this
because
movie.
They talk about at the end that they find out that it's alien toxic waste that was there, and he goes, "Oh, Machu Picchu was actually just a dumping ground for aliens. They used it as a trash heap," which is kind of awful to imply. But that makes sense that it would then fit with Cecil doing toxic waste in the basement,
I guess.
But it's not like they multiply through toxic waste.
No, it's different.
It's not
toxic
like they mutate
waste.
because of toxic waste.
No.
They don't care about toxic waste. It's nonsense.
Arnold, the only
Arnold.
Munchie, the one. I
would Munchie.
I would rate Arnold as a fucking pervert. Out of 10.
I'd say he's toxic.
I'm toxic.
He's toxic, boy.
The more the movie went on, the more my dislike for Arnold multiplied. You know.
Yeah. He got real toxic throughout the movie.
Yeah, I'm really split on how to feel about that one. So.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyway,
7.
If you're not split and you liked our podcast, you can support us on Patreon. You can also follow us at Rough Cuts over on Blue Sky. You can email us roughcutscast@gmail.com. And we appreciate you watching and listening. Not watching, listening.
Send us money so we don't sell out.
And if you're a brand, we are very brand safe.
We're ready and willing.
There's nothing. Sorry, did you say the glory hole line? I thought we were going to say that because of the brand. Wait. No. Our pitch meeting's ruined.
Okay, well, let's just talk about doing cheesy whippets like this. I could,
If you're a brand...
If she wasn't so cute, I'd mace her.
If you're a brand who likes things that aren't brand safe, please... But we need the money, please!
Through my notes.